When the distress signal spread across the void, it carried the trembling voice of a broken people. It crossed dust clouds and drifting debris, past the ruins of abandoned outposts, and traveled farther still until it brushed against the long-range receivers of Earth's far stations. The message was simple, thin, and desperate. The voice pleaded not for conquest or dominion, but for survival. In the heart of a dim star system lay a world that once shimmered with glass towers and silver rivers. Now only the shell of that civilization remained. Its cities crumbled under the weight of an invading force, known for merciless tactics. The attackers pushed across the land without pause. They offered no negotiation. They accepted no surrender. They came as a tide no wall could resist. The oppressed world, called Raylan, had tried everything. Its leaders contacted distant allies, governments, councils, and federations. They received nothing but hollow promises or complete silence. No one wanted to challenge the invaders. No one dared accept Earth. The answer from Earth did not come as a whisper. It came as a message filled with calm authority. It came from the United Terran Command. The message said that help was on the way. No flowery language. No grand speeches. Just a commitment. Thus the fear-filled plea for mercy reached the only world willing to act. When the challenge rose, Earth did not hesitate. Earth sent its champions. Among them was a man named Mark. He was not the strongest soldier alive. He was not the most decorated. But he had something Earth valued far more. He had resolve. He had the ability to stand when others collapsed. He had the quiet fire that made enemies rethink their courage. Beside Mark stood two companions. The first was Lena, a strategist known for turning impossible scenarios into winnable plans. The second was Tom, a calm engineer whose steady hands kept any machine alive during battle. Together, they formed a three-person advance unit. They were not the whole force, but they were the ones chosen to land first, assess the situation, and hold ground until the larger fleet arrived. Their ship pierced the clouded skies of Raylan. Smoke curled over cities like dark serpents. Fires burned along the horizon. Structures that once reached toward the heavens lay cracked open. Mark gazed through the viewport and felt a weight settle on his chest. He had seen ruined worlds before, but this one had a different atmosphere. The sorrow felt thicker. The silence felt heavier. The ship landed near the outskirts of a once vibrant capital. The ground beneath them trembled from distant strikes. Mark stepped out first. His boots pressed into scorched earth. Lena and Tom followed, scanning their surroundings with portable devices. Soon the trio encountered survivors. They were thin, tired, and frightened. Their clothes were torn. Their bodies carried the marks of long struggle. Yet their eyes held a spark of hope when they saw the Terran symbol on the armor of the newcomers. A voice among the crowd asked if they had truly come from Earth. Mark nodded. The crowd stirred. Some wept. Some dropped to their knees. Some simply stared. They had been abandoned by many. But Earth had not ignored them. Mark told them they were here to protect and to push back. A small elder stepped forward. His voice cracked as he spoke. He explained that the invaders had taken their cities quickly. They used machines that tore through stone and sky. Their soldiers marched without emotion. Their leaders believed mercy was weakness. They had declared Raylan a resource world, not a sovereign one. Lena asked for locations of enemy strongholds. Tom offered medical aid and repairs to their damaged shelters. The survivors guided them through ruined streets. Every landmark carried memories of what used to be. Children had played in the squares now littered with ash. Families had gathered in halls now shattered by blasts. Mark listened to every detail. He did not rush. He did not dismiss their fear. He let their stories guide him. for he believed the strongest weapon a champion could wield was empathy. When one understood the pain of another, one fought with a fiercer heart. After gathering information, the trio moved toward a hill overlooking the main valley where the invaders had set up a forward outpost. Strange metallic towers protruded from the ground. Mechanical beasts patrolled the perimeter. Mark studied their formations. Lena mapped possible weaknesses. Tom analyzed energy signatures. The invaders moved with mechanical precision. Their armor reflected the dim sunlight. Their leaders stood tall with cold posture. To them, this world held no emotion. It was just another point on their path of expansion. Mark glanced at his teammates. They did not speak. They understood. Earth's champions fought not for dominance, but for the dignity of life. Lena suggested a stealth infiltration to disable the perimeter towers. Tom proposed overloading one of the central generators. Mark considered both and shaped them into a unified plan. Their strength lay not in one field, but in their ability to combine talents. As night fell, they moved like shadows. They slipped past patrol routes and avoided detection devices. Tom worked quickly, hands steady as he rerouted power lines. Lena marked guard patterns with silent signals. Mark positioned himself between them, ready to intercept any threat. When Tom initiated the overload, a wave of light burst across the outpost. Alarms blared. Mark sprang into action. With controlled precision, he engaged the first wave of invader soldiers. His movements were sharp, but not reckless. Each motion served purpose. Lena directed him from higher ground, guiding his route through the chaos. Tom handled the fallback positions, forcing malfunction after malfunction within the enemy systems. Raylan survivors watched from the hills. Their fear shifted into awe. They had seen soldiers before. None fought like these three from Earth. Their unity, determination, and refusal to yield struck at the heart of despair. Mark fought not with fury, but with the calm conviction of someone who knew what must be done. By dawn, the outpost lay silent. Smoke drifted from disabled machinery. Mark and his companions regrouped with the survivors. Lena reported that the main fleet would arrive within 2 cycles. Tom shared that their sabotage had disrupted long-range communications of the invaders. The elder approached Mark again. Tears lined his face. He asked how Earth had raised such warriors. Mark shook his head. He explained that Earth did not create champions through cruelty or conquest. Earth taught its people to value life, to protect those who could not protect themselves, and to stand firm when justice faltered. For a moment, the survivors felt gratitude so overwhelming it left them breathless. The invaders responded swiftly. They deployed heavier units. They sent armored constructs that towered over broken buildings. They unleashed aerial platforms capable of releasing bursts of destructive energy. Their commanders hoped to crush Earth's champions before their presence inspired a full rebellion. Mark and his team prepared defensive lines around the last surviving district of the capital. They worked with Raylan engineers. They trained volunteers to hold positions. They established shield nodes and fallback shelters. The invaders attacked with the force of a collapsing star. Their machines thundered across the valley. Their aerial strikes lit up the sky. But Earth's champions stood ready. Mark rallied the defenders. He reminded them that they were not alone. Lena coordinated troop movements with clarity and confidence, boosting morale. Tom kept every generator and shield running even as blasts shook the structures around him. The battle raged for hours. The ground quaked. Energy waves tore through the air. Yet the line held. Mark moved like a living wall. He intercepted any breach attempt. He encouraged fighters who stumbled. He lifted those who faltered. Lena's voice carried across every communication channel, steady and guiding. Tom's tools sparked as he repaired equipment. faster than the enemy could destroy it. At one critical moment, a massive construct advanced toward the central shelter where many civilians hid. Its armored plates glowed. Its steps crushed debris. The defenders panicked. Mark sprinted toward it without hesitation. Lena directed artillery fire to weaken its joints. Tom disrupted its energy core with a remote impulse. Mark climbed the machine and delivered the final disabling strike that sent it collapsing into the dust. Raylan. Fighters roared in triumph. The invaders faltered. They did not expect such resilience. They retreated from the district with confusion clear in their formations. When the sun rose again, the defenders still stood. Their victory was not complete, but it was the first true sign that the invaders were not invincible. Hours later, the sky shimmered with the arrival of Earth's main fleet. Sleek vessels descended like guardians of steel. Their presence alone shifted the balance of the conflict. The invaders attempted to regroup, but it was too late. Earth had fully arrived. More champions emerged from the ships. Medics, engineers, strategists, soldiers. Each carried the same resolve that Mark embodied. They worked alongside Raylan's survivors. Together they pushed the invaders back, city by city, valley by valley. Within several rotations, the invaders withdrew their forces entirely. Their commanders likely feared that staying longer would draw even more Terran fury. They vanished into the void, leaving behind the ruins they had carved across the land. The survivors gathered in the restored plaza of the capital. They looked toward the humans who had saved them. Mark stood with Lena and Tom, weary but proud. The elder approached once more. His voice was steadier this time. He thanked them not just for victory, but for giving his people a chance to